Hello everyone, my name is Espik23 here for a KTaNE module tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be covering the how do I pronounce this? It's like this diamond of squares. It looks like the module. I don't know. Well, the good news is you don't need to know either. This is what the module's actual name is. I can type it. Non-verbal Simon, and because it's non-verbal, it doesn't use words, and neither does this manual. This manual, let me zoom out a little bit, tries to use as little words as possible. So because of it, this manual kinda is hard to understand, so I'll be going over what everything means, and also be showing you how to solve the module. That's kind of the more important thing you need to know. So this is what the module looks like. It's similar to Simon Says, except instead of using red, blue, green, and yellow, it uses orange, red, green, and yellow. And they'll always be in the same place every time. And this is 100% dependent on edge work, so we're going to grab it quickly. No batteries. We have batteries. Let Bob, let SND, let FRK. Unlit NSA and one port plate. There it is. DVI, PS2, and RJ. Serial number is India Whiskey 9, Charlie Whiskey 7. So, let's look at this one. So, we're going to go over this manual right here. This top row of diamonds with the colors on them that correspond to the module. Excuse me. These dots and these diamonds indicate that a color is flashing, as you can see. It also kind of indicates where every color is on the module. Orange is always on the left, red is always on the top, yellow is always on the right, and green is always on the bottom. And those flashes correspond to this row right here, where it has the same colors with the dots in it that indicate the flashes. And for that flash, there is a part of the image below it that will be our rules to determine what button we press. The button we press is shown by the color with a check mark in it. And there's going to be different rules for each color. The check mark down here basically means the number of stages. So 1, then 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3. So you press the first button on the first stage, you press the first and the second button on the second stage, you press the first, second, and third button for the third stage, and then so on and so forth. This module can be 3 to 5 stages. And the colors, the flash, will always be the same depending on edge work. That's not dependent on what you press, doesn't depend on strikes, just edge work. So for orange, as you can see, it mentions batteries because we have a D battery and a AA battery. And these numbers down here. So if there are 0 to 1 batteries, if orange flashes, you press yellow. If there are 2 to 3 batteries, you press green. 4 to 5 batteries, you press orange. And if there are 6 or more batteries, you press red. That's what happens when orange flashes. So we can go look. So orange, because we have 0 batteries, turns into yellow. Now here's red. So this looks at the serial number, as you can see by these serial number tags right here. As you can see, each of these 5 serial numbers, besides this last one, has 2 different symbols, a number sign or hashtag and an X. An X corresponds to a letter. Doesn't matter what letter it is, a letter. And the number sign refers to a number. Doesn't matter what number it is. Now the serial number, for those who do not know, will always spawn in the following configurations. The first 2 characters can be a letter or a number. The 3rd and 6th characters will always be numbers, and the 4th and 5th will always be letters. So this manual takes into account all 4 combinations of serial numbers, which are only referring to the first 2 characters, which are the number than number, number than letter, letter than letter, and letter than number. I'll mention what this down here means in a little bit. So for red flash, if the first 2 characters of the serial number are both letters, you press green. If it's a number than a letter, you press red. If they're both letters, you press orange. And if it's a letter than number, you press yellow. So in this case, since we have 2 letters, red will turn into orange. Now this thing down here basically means if it is any other combination than these 4 combinations of serial numbers. This only happens when you are modifying the game to display a different serial number than what is possible. Nobody usually does this, but let's say if you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as your serial number, which are all numbers, and that's not found in either of these 4 serial number formats. In that case, what this means is that red will never flash for that serial number. So if you have a serial number that doesn't follow these 4 formats, red will never flash. So now we have yellow. Yellow flash looks at indicators. This circle with a white in it represents lit indicators, and a circle with black in it represents unlit indicators. What this is saying, if there are less lit than unlit, or there are more unlit indicators than lit indicators, press red. If there are more lit than unlit, press green. And if there are an equal amount of lit and unlit indicators, you press orange. If yellow flashes, you will never press yellow. It's the only color where you do not have a chance to press itself. So in this case, we have 3 lit indicators and 1 unlit. So more lit than unlit, so for yellow, we press green. And finally, green. This first in the down arrow means that you follow the first rule that applies. And as you can see, we are looking at ports. So if there is a serial port, that is a serial port, you press orange. If there is a PS2 port, that is a PS2 port, you press red. If there is an RJ45 port or RJ port, you press green. Otherwise, if the 3 ports are not present, you press yellow. So this ports match the actual image of the ports, and as you can see from this appendix from the vanilla manual, these port images match the same images used in the vanilla manual. In case you didn't know, this appendix was there, which I have forgotten that this was there. There's an appendix for both batteries and indicators as well as ports, but it's also kind of a great way for beginners and for vanilla players to know what the ports look like. And the only port that's actually relevant for vanilla is the parallel port. But regardless, that's not what we're looking for. We're going to need 3 different types of ports, and none of them are parallel. So in this case, do we have a serial port? We don't. Do we have a PS2 port? Yes, we do. So green turns into red. Alright. Interesting. We actually have all 4 colors you can press. That doesn't usually happen. So, this module. Green is flashing. So for green, we press red. The sounds are quieter than I remember them being. Probably because, Simon wants to keep quiet because he's non-verbal. There's actually a previous update to this module when it came out, and it was always guaranteed 3 stages, but these sounds were louder. They were the same sounds, but they were just louder. I actually haven't touched the model since that update, regardless. That's why. Regardless, let's just continue on. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, so now we have orange. So green, orange will turn into red, yellow. Also, that sound was changed too. Alright, yellow turns into green, so we press red, yellow, green. Alright. And the same, as long as you're on the same edgework, the rest of the nonverbal Simon model for this bomb will have the same answer. So orange turns into yellow. Orange red turns into yellow orange. Orange red orange turns into yellow orange yellow. There you go, that's solved already. Just like Simon says, this module can be 3 to 5 stages. In that case, that one was 3. Let's see, red turns into orange. And orange red, no wait, red orange, excuse me, will turn into orange yellow. Red orange yellow will turn into orange yellow green. And there we go. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is grab a bomb with different edgework. So here's an interesting thing about this module's name. The training mission calls this module Nonverbal Simon, and it is found in the N section of the pack. The ID for this module is called Nonverbal Simon right here. In the repository, if you sort in alphabetical order, Nonverbal Simon will actually appear right before the rest of the Simon modules. So in the repository, the internal name is Simon Nonverbal. This is probably done because I guess this modules kind of want to be more grouped with other modules like it, in this case the Simon modules. In profiles though, edit this one right here, this module will appear first before 101 Dalmatians, which is the first module in alphabetical order on the repository as of right now. Where is it? There it is. Anyway, I thought I'd just say that. I also zoomed back in to 100%. So, we're going to do this module again, and now we have different edge work. And we're going to go through all these rules again. Alright, we have... Oh, come on. Almost. Alright, 4 batteries and 2 holders. An unlit bob, unfortunately. Plate DVI PS2 RCA. Plate DVI PS2. Serial number is Kilo Zulu 5 Foxtrot Quebec 8. Alright. So, I actually prefer to write these down in red, orange, yellow, green. However, the manual lists them as orange, red, yellow, green. But I'm going to write them like this. And of course, feel free to take your notes for this module however you want. So let's look at red. We have letter then letter, so we're going to submit orange. Orange, we have 4 batteries, so we also submit orange. Yellow, we have more unlit than lit, so we submit red. And green, do we have a serial port? And we don't. Do we have a PS2 port? Yes, we do, so we submit red. So in this case, we only have 2 different colors to submit, which are orange and red. And this can happen, and even the more rare occasions where every color will turn into one color, like all 4 of them could be red or all 4 of them could be orange. That cannot occur with yellow, since there is a case where yellow will never be pressed for a certain color. And I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, now opinions about this manual. This manual I did not figure out at first. I did just trial and error and looking at the log in terms of how this module works. I get the point that the author was trying to make with this module is that they were just trying to make it where it uses as little words as possible. And of course have a module name that's impronounceable, unless if you knew the actual name for this module, which is Nonverbal Simon. And I could say they did a pretty good job. I understand how the concept, but like I said, it's kind of hard to understand unless if you look at the log or look at a different version of this manual that actually explains it in words. But otherwise, I like it. But anyway, that's going to be it for me for this tutorial, so thank you guys for watching. As always, keep talking and don't explode.